Bible Discourse 67. Did Jesus prophesy his second coming and the end of the world? And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming? And of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for name's sake, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of Daniel the prophet, and stand in the holy place, whose readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, unto them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that you flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophecies, false prophets and false prophets, and shall grew great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be eagles be gathered together. Immediately after tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, ye knew that summer is nigh. So likewise, yea, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of the day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark new, and not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man may be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two men shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what our Lord doth come. Matthew 24, 142. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish, took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in the vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell to buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily, I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. Matthew 25, 1:13. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. Matthew 24, 1 to 2. Jesus prophesied the general destruction of Jerusalem, which came to pass 30 years after his ascension during the revolt of Jewish people against Rome. The culmination of this war was the destruction of the temple in AD 70, after which one section of a wall remained standing, known as the Wailing Wall, a place of Jewish pilgrimage to this day. Jesus saw with his intuitive eyes and told his disciples that the said edifice will crumble down to pieces. Jesus wanted his followers to focus within the everlasting kingdom of God. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came up to him unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, see that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nations shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, and pestilences, and earthquakes in divine places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for name's sake, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another, and many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Matthew 24, 3 to 14. The disciples are identified as Peter, James, and Andrew. In the daytime, he was teaching in the temple, and at night he went out and abode in the mount that is called the Mount of Olives. And all the people came early in the morning to him in the temple for to hear him. Luke 21, 37 to 38. Jesus intermixing prophecy and metaphor in a masterly fashion. He answered when the temple destruction occurred and what signs would indicate his coming and end of the world. Jesus tells his disciples that wars and rumors of wars, famines, pestilences, and earthquakes in diverse places would continue, and they should not lose their heart and continue to be in touch with divine consciousness. They must endure as they must come to pass due to bad mass karma. Jesus also spoke of persecutions, and they must endure to get the ultimate reward, that is salvation. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. But he that shall endure to the end, the same shall be saved. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents and brethren and kinsfolk and friends, and some of you shall they cause to be put to death, and ye shall be hated of all men for name's sake, but there shall not be an hair of your head perish. In your patience possesses your souls, recorded in Gospel according to Saint Luke. Jesus was foreseeing and said, then many shall be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. Intermittent but violent Roman persecution of the early Christians did not finally end until Constantine the Great became emperor in AD 312. Until Constantine the Great became emperor in AD 312. Jesus' prophecy that after my passing, some of you shall they cause to be put to death was materialized with a fearful accuracy. One by one, most of the apostles were put to death. They were martyred, stabbed, crucified, beheaded, stoned, flayed alive, or pierced with arrows. Jesus' early disciples ended in violent persecution. Matthew was slain with a sword in Ethiopia. Mark was dragged to death through the streets of Alexandria. Luke was hanged in Greece. John was put in a cauldron of boiling oil but escaped miraculously, was banished to Patmos and died a natural death. Peter was crucified at Rome with his head downward. James the Greater was beheaded at Jerusalem. James the Less was thrown from a pinnacle of the temple and then beaten to death. Bartholomew was flayed alive. Andrews was bound to a cross and died preaching to his persecutions. Thomas was run through the body through a lance. Matthias was first stoned and then beheaded. Jude Thaddeus was shot to death with arrows. Barnabas of the Gentiles was stoned to death at Salonika. Paul, after various tortures and persecutions, was beheaded at Rome. Data regarding the deaths of Philip and Simon the Canaanite are obscure and conflicting. Judas Iscariot hanged himself. The significance of Jesus' words, the end of the world, the wars and catastrophes would not be the signs of the end of the world. They are indicative of human sorrow, but the end is not yet. Jesus said, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. By this, Jesus means that Christ consciousness will be preached to one and all, the way to liberation. If the mass karma bad, wars, families, earthquakes, natural calamities, and plant diseases, severe storms, etc., do occur. Jesus said, unto everyone which has shall be given, and from him that hath not, even that he hath shall be taken away from him. This means that you must be generous. Whatever you have, you should distribute it to have not, lest whatever you have shall be taken away from you. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whose readeth, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, unto them to give the to unto them that give suck in those days. But pray that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time to this time. No, nor even shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Matthew 24:15-22. Parallel reference. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereunto into. For these be the days vengeance, then all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land, and wrath upon this people. Or they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Luke 21:20-24. When Jesus spoke of Daniel's prophecy of the abomination of desolation, the desecration of the holy place, he was foreseeing the invasion of Jerusalem by many nations stretching from now to centuries to come. And arms shall stand on his part, and they shall pollute the sanctuary of strength, and shall take away the daily sacrifice, and they shall place the abomination that maketh desolate. History records the terrible events that Jesus predicted would befall Jerusalem in the days of vengeance by Roman armies under Titus. Titus advanced in the spring of 70, driving the Passover pilgrims before him to increase the mouths to feed. Titus invested the city with a wall to prevent escape or the admission of supplies. Famine spread. The bodies of the dead were dropped over the walls into the valleys to avoid plague. There is even record of cannibalism. Fugitives who fell into Roman hands were crucified inside of the city to the number of 500 a day. At the end of June, the direct assault was resumed. The Antonia fortress was captured and razed. In July, the daily temple sacrifice ceased. On 6th August, the temple was stormed, and against Titus' orders, destroyed by fire, the revolutionaries made their last stand in the upper city. This was finally breached, and after 5 months' siege, the city taken and razed to the ground. Prisoners were forced into the arena as gladiators. So were fulfilled the words of Jesus in Luke. When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then You must realize that it will soon be desolate. 21:20. The time will come when not a single stone will be left on another. Everything will be destroyed. 21:6. Great events, Bible Times, James Harpour, editor, New York, Doubleday, 1987. Jesus said, "But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened, lest there should no flesh be saved. The karma can be lessened due to their virtue, righteousness, and meditation." Then, if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs, and false prophets, and shall shew great signs and wonders, in so much that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers. Believe it not, for as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of the Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Matthew 24:23-28, parallel reference. And he said unto the disciples, The days will come when ye shall desire to see one of the days of the Son of the Man, and ye shall not see it. And they shall say to you, See here, or see there. Go not after them, nor follow them. For as the lightning that lighteneth out of one part under heaven shineth unto the other part under heaven, so shall also the Son of Man be in his day. But first he must suffer many things and be rejected of this generation. Luke 17:22-25. Look, we have found a great teacher here or there in that land. Jesus implied that the complete manifestation of Christ's consciousness as an incarnate in a body such as his occurs rarely. He wanted the people should be careful about false prophets claiming to be Christ-like teachers. This body is Christ consciousness personified, will be subjected to persecution and crucifixion, and will be rejected by the generation. As lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, means the Christ consciousness within his body should enlighten all humanity for all time. Eagles from far off locate a carcass and gather around to feast on it. People from far off will sense a filling repast in my teachings to experience in their own consciousness, in the manifestation of Christ's consciousness, the coming of the Son of the Man. Contact with this consciousness, experience in the ever new joy of meditation, will be the real second coming of Christ, and it will take place right in the devotee's own consciousness. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heaven shall be shaken, and then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, And they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet under the putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise, when A shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. But of that day and hour, but of the day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Matthew 24, 29 to 36. Parallel reference. And there shall be sign in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth the distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking of those things which are coming on earth. For the power of heaven shall be shaken, and then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. He spoke to them a parable. Behold the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise, when ye see these things come to pass, know that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. And take heed to yourselves, let at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come to in all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Luke 21, 25 to 36. In normal electromagnetic rays of the sun and moon are disrupted, there will be disturbance in seas and tidal waves. Similarly, men's hearts and minds will be affected by man's own wrong vibrations. After sufficient meditation and righteousness, people will behold the sign of Son of Man in heaven. The tangible vision, that is sign of Christ through the opening up of the awakened spiritual eye, leading into Christ's consciousness. Then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, repent, and they shall see Son of Man coming into the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Great glory. The devotee will also behold angels or liberated souls, vibrant with cosmic vibration, a great sound of trumpet. And as such devotee will also behold In the light of their awakened Christ consciousness, a gathering of manifested presence of liberated souls, the effect of selected from the four directions. Jesus will not come out of the clouds to punish the wicked and rule a kingdom on earth. No man knows when the day of liberation comes, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So continuously pray, meditate and watch the tricks of the fickle mind and see to it is centered on God. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son may be. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the next ark new, and not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of the Man be. Matthew 24, 37, 39. Parallel reference. And as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be also in the days of the Son of Man. They did eat, they drank, they married wives, they were given in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and flood came and destroyed them all. Likewise also, as it was in the days of Lot, they did eat, they drank, they bought, they sold, they planted, they builded, but the same day that Lot went out of Sodom, it rained fire and brimstone from heaven, and destroyed them all. Even thus shall it be in the day when the Son of the Man is revealed. In the day, he who shall be upon the housetop and is stuck in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. Luke 17:26 to 33. In spite of Noah's warning, people unconcernedly drank, ate, and did merrymaking. So also the spiritually nil people did not realize the Christ consciousness within me, and hence faced wrath of their bad karma. They they will be swept away by their ignorance. Similarly, in Lot's time, the people heedlessly ate, drank, and did merrymaking. But the same day, Lot guided Lot and his family out of Sodom. Jesus said, after the departure of my body, my disciples who had lifted up their respective consciousness, we remain there. They should not crave for bodily pleasure again. Remember Lot's wife, who was somewhat spiritually advanced and was fleeing from the fire of ignorance and the brimstone of misery. When she turned back and put her attention on bodily desires, her spiritual life was turned into stone, completely destroyed. If you wanted spiritual life, you gave to give up material pleasures and vice versa. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken on the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken on the other left. Watch therefore, for ye know not what hour your Lord doth come. Matthew 24, 40 to 42. 40 to 42. Parallel reference. I tell you, in that night there shall be two men in one bed. Then the one shall be taken, and the other shall be left. Two men shall be grinding together. The one shall be taken, and the other left. And they answered and said unto him, Where, Lord? And he said unto them, Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered together. Luke 17, 34, 37. Jesus said, the spiritually oriented people are not to bother about material conditions. Hence, people would be left on the earth till he or she finishes his or her karma. So the spiritual aspirant must put incessant sadhana or meditative effort till final liberation. When the Lord doth come, men means he has to wait the beacon call of Christ's cosmic consciousness and cosmic consciousness. Jesus said, Wheresoever the body is, thither will the eagles be gathered there. That means the Lord exists within the body. Within the soul is encased in the physical, astral and causal body. There the desires will gather to keep the soul a prisoner. The invisible soul can be distinguished by the presence of its body. Its existence is made possible by desires, the cohesive force of the three bodies. The soul is encased in causal jar, and that jar is put within another, that is astral jar. And the two jars sealed and put in a third jar, that is physical jar. If all the jars are put in ocean, unless all the three jars are broken, then only the soul is merged into ocean. Likewise, within our body, physical, another astral body exists. Within these two bodies, another causal body exists. Within these three bodies, soul exists. When the soul has overcome all desires and leaves the imprisonment of the three bodies, the eagles of superconscious perceptions soar in the infinite in the soul's cosmic body, one with the cosmic body and spirit. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto virgins which took them lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And the 5 of them were wise, and 5 were foolish, took their lamps, and took no oil with them. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered, and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Then all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily, I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of the Man cometh. Matthew 25, 1 to 13. Jesus said, Be ready for the coming of the Son of Man. He told them the metaphorical story. The parable of the 10 virgins had its basis in the tradition of the Eastern marriage. customs of Jews, in which Eastern marriage customs of Jews, in which virgins served as attendants or bridesmaids. Recounting one such instance, the book of Psalms records that the bride is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the kings in raiment of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, shall be brought unto thee, the king or bridegroom. With the gladness and rejoicing shall they be brought. They shall enter into the king's place. Psalms 45, 13 to 15. The kingdom of heaven was craved by 10 renunciants who in meditation had lit 10 lamps. Lamp is consciousness, a light is self-realization. Bridegroom is Christ consciousness. 5 virgins were careless. Their meditational were quite inadequate and irregular. Another 5 were intelligent, regular, and hence their lamps of wisdom were burning in their meditation. The bridegroom of Christ's consciousness delayed in manifestation. The 10 virgins were slumbered and slept. The 5 foolish virgins who were in darkness requested the other 5 intelligent virgins, please give some of the oil of your devotion, vibration, and good habits, for which the wise said that this oil cannot be transferred and given. You have to acquire this precious one by regular practice. The foolish devotee realized and prayed, Lord, manifest your Christ consciousness in our consciousness. The inner voice replied, verily, you are not yet ready to know or contact the Christ consciousness within you. End of discourse.